Good evening, race fans, and welcome to the BSTV TCR Challenge. This is season 12, rounds 5 and 6, and we are at Brands Hatch. We are on the GP circuit. I am Pete Bingham, and I am joined in the booth tonight by Sir Alan of Toon. Good evening.
Good evening, Pete. Good evening, everybody. Great to be here.
Yeah, and we're at Brands Hatch early morning, Alan. It's only 21 degrees. It's very early, as in we're just past dawn. So the track is going to be super slick. It's going to have dew on it. It's going to be running wide on cold tyres for sure. And it's going to be quite an exciting evening, I think. We have 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 drivers tonight. So it's going to be a bit of a brawl, I think, round Brands Hatch. What's your opinion?
It's always going to be a brawl with these guys.
yeah, can't argue with that.
They don't spare themselves or anybody, do they? They race hard and they race close. The track looks beautiful, doesn't it? That lovely green, the spring colours coming in. And it's early morning, so we're all feeling fresh and alive, not overhung from the night before. None of our drivers are, they're all in strict training at this part of the season now. Full of, they're all very ascetic, these guys, and, they're in bed by 6 a.m. normally, meditating and everything.
Yeah, doing their yoga so that they've got the flexibility to press the pedals. Yeah, I don't think so. So, we are at Brands Hatch. This is rounds 5 and 6. Your championship leader at the moment is Sam Blees on 266 points. If you look at the website, you will see that he is not having it all his own way, though, because with drop scores, it's a bit of a different story, but I'll let you guys do that for yourselves. He is our reigning champion, and why do I not see him? Oh, yeah, I do. There he is. On your screens now, for your viewing pleasure, our current reigning champion, Sam Blees. Spencer McCarthy is in second place in the championship. I'm only going to do the first 5. Stephen Walker is giving them both a good run for their money. Is he the one that I couldn't find in the standings before? He is. So no Stephen Walker this evening. This must be one of the races that he can't manage to get to. Jamie Wilson is in 4th place, wrestling that Honda Civic around these tight and twisty bends of our Brands Hatch circuit. We will go on board with someone in a short while. And then rounding out the top 5 is BSTV's own Gary Craig, who's doing a great job in that Veloster. Any surprises in the top 5 for you there, Alan?
I don't think so, really. It's nice to see Gary there, isn't it? He's making that Veloster work for him. It's very nice to see him back in sparkling form. But, we all know who the best drivers are. Who've got that slight age design. You look at the times on this grid and there's very little in between any of these chaps.
You say that, but Wobbly's time that he's just put up, 1:31.7, is mighty. That is obscene time.
Oh, goodness.
We'll just have a quick focus on that car because
Well, he's been very quick, hasn't he?
He has.
It's been delightfully quick. So,
yeah. He's in the baby on board scheme because he is a gigantic baby. It says kneecaps across the banner. I had to take something more offensive off that.
I've seen a bit more in Wobbly this season.
Yeah, I have. A bit of maturity.
Applying yourself a little bit more.
Yeah, I'd agree with that sentiment. Absolutely. Let's go through the team standings. So no surprise. Oh, actually, big surprise. I didn't expect to say this. Spectre 6 are leading the championship on 344 points. They are 2 points, just 2 points ahead of Geodesic Racing on 342. Spectre 6 are in 3rd on 292. Geodesic Racing White are on 266, which is just Sam Blees on his own at the moment, I think. And then BSTV, Gary Craig and JB are in 5th place. I don't think there's too many surprises there. And then we've got the driver of the meeting, which I'm just going to bail out of because I'm going to jump on board with Wobbly as he does a hopefully full racing lap of this circuit. Let's see if he improves as he goes across the line. So we charge down the what they call top straight here into Paddock Hill Bend, which is lethal at the best of times, and even worse when the track is cold. You always get a bit of gravel there. Up Pilgrim's Rise and into Druids, first gear corner in most of these cars, into second very quickly. Get it across the track smoothly into Graham Hill, and then fire it down through these corners here. Cooper Straight this is, it's not very straight though. Into Surtees, which is a horrible turn really. You've got to catch that dip on the apex in order to pull the car round with you as you go through here and over the crest of this, under the bridge and through Pilgrim's Drop. You're heading towards Hawthorne, fourth gear turn. Keep it on the top of the revs because it helps turn the car. Get a little bit of curb on the left hand side. Fire it down this Derek Minter straight through Westfield, which is where he's just been, down into Dingle Dell, which is this little dip here, and then Sheens is your next right-hander. Third gear in most cars, especially when the track is this slick. Sterling's is second gear. Oh no, it's third gear for a wobbly. I do second gear. I didn't do terribly well yesterday. Down through Clearways here into Clark. Third gear on the apex. Hold off the gas a little bit. Get onto it as soon as you feel the car start to turn. And that's the end of a lap. That's a pretty efficient lap from Wobbly, wouldn't you say, Alan?
Yes. He's. I think you could probably go faster, of course.
Well, that particular lap we were on board with was a whopping 0.002 of a second slower. And he has just been pipped by 0.07, which is impressive. And that's Spencer McCarthy who's pipped him off the top spot.
Mind you, it was impressively early to be getting these kinds of times, isn't it?
Yeah, he really is. I need to take a setting out here, so I need to take that out in order for...
I was interested in what you said about the teams, because it sounds like Spectre 6 are competing with Geodesic, and that sounds like... That's interesting. I hope they can keep that up. That's an interesting battle.
Yeah, I think that's going to fall foul because... Oh, Andy Littler's just joined the session. We are on 21 cars, Alan.
Oh,
which is nice and healthy. Yeah, good effort. Good to see him in. He was concerned about whether this would be another dark race, but it's at dawn, so the light is just coming through. The track round here is lit up bright red, Alan, on certain turns during the dawn. You know, like sunset is at Sebring, which you probably saw a little bit of that last week, didn't you?
Yeah, it matches my eyes most mornings. Very nice.
Yeah, well, it's bloodshot. I'm not sure about that. So, just to go through the format, just in case anybody's joining us for the first time, we will have a 20 minutes, what we call a sprint race. It will not have a pit stop. It will be frantic. We may see some door banging. Then we will have a very short intermission, followed by a feature race, which is a 40-minute sprint race, which is best described as. There may be some door banging in that as well, but there will also be a pit stop, where they will have to finesse their pit stop technique, get the car stopped to the appropriate speed, and get a nice smooth transition for tyres and fuel, Alan. Here, it can be a bit tasty, can't it? Because you come off the final turn, Clark's, and it's on your immediate right hand side. You've got to shed quite a lot of speed very quickly, and then you're into the pit road. Yeah,
it's certainly not a comfortable entry, and I've actually gone into it backwards at speed. Memories of the pit entry here, and not that easy. You're right. You know that last corner's tricky, isn't it?
It is, because you want to
watch the speed off really quickly, and if there's other cars around you as well, you know.
That's the trouble. And when you've got quite a healthy grid like this, i.e. there's plenty of them, it becomes a bit more tasty.
And we've also seen how important the pit stops can be in these races, haven't we?
Mm.
You know, they can.
Yeah, we really have.
They could take a vital part, can't they? That pit stop becomes so it matters. And I'll be surprised if they're not practicing a quick bit spot.
Yeah. Have you got? Are you well lubricated? Have you got a nice allocation of scotch?
Well, yes, I'm well prepared for the occasion.
Oh, good, good. That's good.
I'm big on forward planning. I was, it was part of my curriculum at college
Yeah,
many
absolutely.
years ago. It's the bit I remember. Get plenty of scotch in.
Oh, too right. So, just for those of you watching at home, banners make a difference here. Blue banners mean that the driver has never won the championship, either in GT4 or TCR. This used to be the GT4 TCR challenge. It's now just the TCR. I shall run us through the starting grid very shortly. And a gold or yellow banner means they have won one of the championships before. So we'll go to grid. There we go. Right, so your pole man for round 5 of the TCR challenge will be Spencer McCarthy for Geodesic Racing.
You might want to add a leader to that, David.
Wobbly Kneecaps will go off second for BSTV Esports. Don't know why, but Spencer's team hasn't pulled through. In fact, not many of them have, which is what stumbled me a minute ago, so I'll have to sort that out in a minute. Don't know why that is. David Johansson goes off third for Sim Racing Grid Hyundai. Sam Blees goes off fourth, your championship leader. And defender of the crown for Geodesic Racing White, Mark Draper goes off fifth for Sim Racing Grid Honda. Gary Craig goes off sixth, for BSTV. Seventh will be Jamie Jeffrey for CCR. We have Jamie Wilson in seventh for Team Chimera. Carl Hardy will go off 8th for Safeguard by Result. 9th will be Matt Elmore for Spectre 6. His teammates will go off 11th. Have I missed a number there? I think I probably have.
I think you reversed your numbers.
Yeah, I think I did.
Matt's 10, isn't he?
Yeah, 10. 11th is Russell Cowell. Matt Flannery will go off 12th for Geodesic Racing. JB Dejoux goes off 13th for BSTV. Tony Yates off 14th for Sim Racing Grid Honda. Ant Woodward will go off 15th for NQR, or Never Quit Racing. David Ayres will go off 16th for Result Clothing iRacing Team, with Tony Walker 17th for Spectre 6. 18th is Kylie for Air Smart Racing 2. Chris Needham for Air Smart Racing 1 goes off 19th. 20th will be Roger Morton for Safeguard. And Andrew Littler will go off 21st as we start. Stop flashing your lights, boys. It's not funny. And we are green already, Alan. So,
yes,
here
exciting.
we go.
Who's going to have a good start, who's not? Interesting, is there going to be a hole where Stephen would be normally?
Sam Blees has spent no time at all fighting with David Johansson and challenging him into Druids.
Well, we all learned a good lesson from David last week, didn't we? He was absolutely rock solid.
He was. Yeah.
Competing right at the sharp end and had a great result. He had a fantastic night.
I'm not sure why just yet. Oh, gosh. Right, so that's Ant Woodward has been spat out. We'll have to have a look at that in a second. Jason Haddington is started from pit lane. Roger Morton is still in pit lane. I'm not sure what's going on here.
Roger. What's happening? I hope he's not had a computer. He's had a couple of computer issues.
Oh, you're joking. Right, okay. We'll have to keep an eye on that. Yeah. Tony Yates is fighting with Matt Flannery here, 2x2 through Westfield. No, not Westfield. Oh, right, we're at the top of the hill. This is Westfield. Sorry, I got my corners wrong. This is Brave Racing. JB looking to mop up just behind them. Sir Alan?
Ooh. Yeah, side by side through here is definitely Brave, isn't it?
Yeah, David Ayres is now on this as Tony Walker starts making his way through. He's just done David Ayres.
They're not worried about the cold tyres or the damp conditions.
Yeah, it's pretty dicey actually.
They're going at it, aren't they, already? Goodness me.
Oh, is that Jamie Jeffrey? He can't have got a penalty. That must be him going out on quali fuel. Has to be.
Well, Roger's not there now, so who's Roger on the track?
Rog is... Yeah, he's a bit all on his own though, so we'll find out what's going on there.
At least he's got to start now.
Yeah. Right, let's go back to the front. So, Spencer McCarthy is your race leader. Wobbly is in second. Sambly is in third. Mark Draper is in fourth. That's a surprise to me, at least. His teammate in the sister team, the Hyundai team, is behind him. David Johansson, Gary Craig is in 6th. Jamie Wilson, and at the start of this train, stop flashing your lights. Carl Hardy and Matt Elmore need a poke in the eye for flashing their lights because they are in 8th and 9th. And then Russell Cowell were racing. He's not got a paint because he hasn't uploaded his own paint because he swapped to the OP car. Ooh, who's that really, really wide? It's JB, and he's managed to hold that, has he? He's done all right there, actually. He was out on the grass for quite a time. Right, shall we have a look at what happened to Ant Woodward? Oh, God, what the hell was that?
Oh, no. That's David.
That is David and JB. I don't know what on earth that was, but we're going to go back to what happened to Ant Woodward first, all right? We'll go up and look at
Sorry,
that
guys,
above.
that was a hardware problem there.
JB in the chat has said that hardware has failed him. Oh, right. So Ant Woodward got net coded off the track, so there was plenty of air between those two cars.
No.
That's a shame.
I'm pitting.
That's a terrible shame.
It is. And then this is what happened
Sorry, guys, I didn't hear what you said.
with JB. Hardware issue. He's stating. Is this one? Or is this a different one? I think this is a different one.
Oh, look at that. He's got loose.
So that was the previous turn. That's what's going on there. So this is Westfield, and then something bad happened here. Oh right, his kit has failed, and he's shifted across the track.
Out of control wobble, didn't he? Right into David's track.
He did, and they're all at it, Alan, because this is Mark Draper. So something's happened here. He's going to run wide here.
This is not blue on blue, is it?
No, he's run wide here. It's what I do every time I go through that turn into Westfield.
Oh, that's Carl.
No, that is Gary Craig.
Gary.
Yeah, Jamie's having a bit of that as well. So two places. Ooh, and
off
off track again. So Mark.
There's Carl.
Yeah, Mark Draper. I think he's sponsored by John Deere.
Well, crikey.
Right, well,
That could have been a lot worse, couldn't it?
It could have been immensely worse. So, yeah, all going on still. That's Carl Hardy.
Oh, look, that's Carl having a word to say. Presumably, Jamie is. No.
Whoa! That's a reverse into a wall.
I think they're having a conversation.
Who was that? Oh, it was Carl. It was Carl.
It's Carl. Now, didn't on the previous corner Carl get a small slice of Jamie?
Let's have a look. So into Graham Hill. Nothing going on there. Oh, right, okay. So Jamie didn't really have any more track to the right of him.
Did he?
Yeah. Nowhere else to go.
Oh dear, this is bad news for my favourite drivers here tonight.
I know.
My drivers every night.
How are you going to award Driver of the Evening?
I don't know.
So Mark Draper has dropped quite a number of positions actually. The one that's benefiting from it all is Matt Elmore, or Captain Mannering, as he's more locally known.
Oh well.
And as long as he doesn't flash his lights, I'll continue to put the camera on him.
Well, we like Matt. We have seen him do well. He deserves it because he works jolly hard at this, doesn't he? He's a good driver.
He does. However, in the Sebring 12 hour, he was flashing his lights at me. Which is a little bit of a lie, because I was flashing my lights at him just to try and wind him up. And it didn't work, so... Right, we've got other people going on the excursions. So Russell Cowell has been off track, but it was just a tyre off. David Johansson did the same, but it's the same for him. He's chasing third place, Sam Blees now. The front three are all broken up by a bit of time. So if we look at Wobbly there, you can see there's daylight between them, Alan.
Well, you know, when Spencer got in front, that was dangerous to me. That said, But that's dangerous because he was the quickest lap, wasn't he? And we know what Spencer's like. If he gets the chance, he will just drive away.
Yeah.
And, he doesn't take much encouragement, does he? And I was hoping that Wobbly would be able to keep up with him, but that gap is a relentless thing with Spencer. He's so very consistent lap after lap.
He very much is, yeah. He is. He just laps, quali laps every lap. So we've got a few close battles though. So Jamie Wilson closing in on Mark Draper, who's lost a few positions after that double excursion. He may well lose another one here. This is Honda on Honda. It's great to see the Honda at the pointy end though.
Yes, it is. And yeah, James been really using the extra whatever it is he's got. The mojo's working for him. But I think they've slowed everybody down rather than made him faster.
I've heard a few people say that. Yeah, I think you're absolutely on the money there. They have retarded, in the best possible use of that word, the other vehicles to drop them back towards the Honda.
And it's had a really great effect for TCR racing in general, for sure. And it's been great for Jamie because he's been able to compete. And that's very nice for the young man.
Yeah. And this is a fight that's very much on. So this is Matt Flannery on Tony Yates. This is a good little battle that's winding up here.
Yeah,
I tried this in the official yesterday. It didn't work for me, but Matt Flannery, I wasn't driving against the caliber of these guys. It was a high IR split that I was in, sadly, which meant I was going to do badly. And mine, I had to back out of mine. But that worked well.
It's a tough overtake.
That's
a tough overtake because Tony doesn't give anything away, does he?
No.
He holds his line. He's a determined driver, and yeah. So there you go. That was a well wrought. That was, and yeah, like you say, it takes a bit of nerve. You have to hold your nerve, and you have to hold your line. You have to be tight on it as well. You can't be wobbling and deviating because you're in trouble.
You're going to have to explain this to me though. Sam Blease has damage on the left front of his car, quite a lot actually. He's missing the front left quarter panel. He's been caught very, very rapidly by David Johansson. We've not seen this season, have we?
I wonder if there's more damage than that, but David was rapid last week. He was.
I'll try and get a better view of that damage in a minute. I think the camera switches. Oh no, yes, camera's on the right side here, so a bit of damage around the left front. Oh no, maybe not. That's the paint, isn't it? That's the paint scheme. There's no damage there, is there?
No, I don't think he's. This is just David's. David's very quick.
He really is, yeah. I'm going to have to switch away from this because Tony Yates and Matt Flannery are going at it again, but this time it's Tony trying to repay the favour.
Looks like it's bananas at dawn.
Yeah. There was some movement just then. What on earth is this?
That Chris behind waiting for that to pick up the remainder?
My curses are strong, Alan.
No.
David Johansson.
No.
Yeah. What's happened here? Let's go to the overhead chopper cam. Oh, he's going into... Oh, he's got the back tyre on the grass. Oh, dear.
The grass of doom.
It is. Oh, dear. That's at Sheen's. So, there's everybody ends up in that wall after that turn at some point. Right, let's go back to live racing then.
Oh, goodness me. Well,
that's a shame it's a shame for David.
So it's not a shame for Spencer, though, is it? Goodness me.
I know, look at it. Actually, Spencer's getting caught. Wobbly is closing down the gap. He's within a second.
Oh, well, we know that Wobbly's had incredible pace recently, and I'm hoping that it can close the gap and put some pressure on him. And there's no, well, it's a short race, that's the thing. If this was the longer race, I would say he was playing the waiting game, but...
Yeah, I would agree.
Not in this one, I don't think. I think this is just about flat out all the way, and he's just stringing a few really good laps together.
I think the other thing that's very heartwarming is the best term for this league is that we have a Veloster leading the race. we have a Honda Civic in second place, and we have a Elantra in third place, which means, well, where's the nearest Audi? The nearest Audi is Russell Cowell, who thought he was choosing the OP car. I think he's made a maybe. I think it's good on certain tracks. He is in 8th place, but it's really good to see 3 different car types in the top 3.
Yes. Yeah. Well, it's that reweighting, and no, I think it's. I think they played an absolute stormer by doing this. It's really reinvigorated the racing, which has got so Elantra-centric that it will become rather dull and predictable. Not dull per se, because you can't have dull races with these chaps driving, but predictable. And,
yeah, absolutely.
And now we're not predictable at all. And,
no way.
It's great, and I know we've got Spencer at the front, and he's a mighty dominating presence. When he gets the bit between his teeth, it's very hard to unseat, but nobody's chasing him down. It's still an exciting battle there, because it can be done. It only takes one small error. But,
Yeah, anything can change in a very short time. We've got teammate on teammate here. This is Chris Needham chasing down Tony. Oh no, they're not. That's Sim Racing Grid and Air Smart Racing. Sorry, I got confused with the similar colour scheme. Black, purple, and white. What else is going on at the moment? So we've got Mark Draper, Jamie Wilson duking it out. Oh dear. You're not going to like this much, Alan. I don't think.
Looking at a few things I don't like.
Yeah, David Ayres not having the best of races. I think this is going to be a Paddock Hill Bend. That's got to be hardware. That has to be.
Oh, that happened to him before. Was it last week or was it the week before? Do you remember?
I do. He went straight on.
Yes.
He went straight on at VIR.
Yes, that's right.
Oh, that's just so frustrating.
Oh, David, that's Oh, well, he doesn't deserve that. The gentleman doesn't.
No way.
No.
Right, Jamie Jeffrey. We saw him pit at the start. I think he will have had quali fuel in the car, and therefore had to pit straight away. He is now on the back of Ant Woodward, who we saw have an incident earlier after he got turned with a bit of netcode from JB.
Right, well, tough call, but I would say Jamie's probably got the slight edge around here.
Yes.
But Ant would do more to hang on to him.
Yeah, so that's raging at the moment, as is this 3-way battle, which we were looking at a moment ago. Then we've got Matt Elmore. Stop flashing your lights, you idiot. With Mark Draper closing in on him. Hopefully he'll overtake him just for the light flashing. Everybody was going to say that the flashing of my lights at Matt Elmore at the Sebring 12 hour was justification for the flashing of lights anywhere, and I had to retrieve it from Garage 101, where I consigned it to ultimate death and demise. However, that is not the case. I make the rules, not them. And my despotic rule over this is going to last forever. Oh, that's a nudge.
Oh, well, that's fair enough. Sadly, R is running 18th down a lap, and Roger is running 20th down 2 laps.
The Result Boys have not had the run of it today, have they?
Divided by David, who's a lap down in the pit.
Yeah.
This is not our night. Still, Andy's still running, I'm glad to say. But, yeah.
Andy Littler is doing the best of the lot of them at the moment. There he is.
Certainly is, yeah.
He's been off track a few times, but that's fine, because at the moment he's in 16th and going to get some decent points.
Well, we were here last night round the Indy track.
Yes.
In the Magnus.
Right.
And, that was jolly good fun, I've got to say.
You raced that, didn't you?
I did, indeed.
Yeah, I saw your post on Facebook.
Yeah. I managed, it's 4 races. I managed all 4 this week. So
how long are those races?
They're 15-minute races.
Oh, 4 sprint races. Right, okay.
Yeah. It's only
Whoa!
exciting.
So Mark Draper got that breaking point wrong. I think he needed to borrow my binoculars that I used to see my apexes.
It's no easy thing to get past Mr. Elmore, is it?
It's not, no, especially when he's blinding you and giving you some sort of epileptic fit by flashing his lights all the time.
Well, you know, this track, you know, if you're good on defending, it's a track where you can actually, you know, put your car in bad places, can't you?
Oh,
If you're
without a doubt, yeah.
trying to hold somebody up.
So we have 2 minutes left of this race. So if Wobbly's going to make any kind of impact on Spencer, he needs to do it now. Oh, he's on the grass, and they're both on the grass, Alan. Both on the grass.
Okay, that could have been so awful, couldn't it?
It really could. I mean, that just
For both
shows.
of us, you know.
Yeah, it just shows how much even the fast guys are having to push in this league.
Yes, well, yeah. Well, you can't let up, especially in the sprint race.
No.
You can't let up.
No. I mean, that was extraordinary.
Just the car control, because the grass around there is quite lethal once
Well,
you're
it's
on it. You
faster
know,
than the track.
it doesn't like to let you go,
White
does it?
flag. There's Barney giving it his all.
Oh, hey, he's looking frisky tonight.
He's
Barney.
looking healthy, isn't he?
Yeah, I'm seeing what he's on. Oh, Mark.
Oh dear, I thought that was curtains for Draper.
Yeah, I thought that was wall.
Yeah. Oh dear. David Ayres on the chat. Another screen freeze. Yeah.
Yeah. We guessed, David. That's truly awful. That's terrible for you, matey. Yeah. Never mind, matey. We've got the next one coming up, and we've got to do better in this.
Yeah, I'm literally just typing that out for him. So let's go to the front runners. Wobbly's lost time to Spencer. He had a little bit of he had another off track.
Yeah, well, you know, trying to push on to close that gap. I think it's you know, the white flag's flowing, and he's just going to risk his second place, really.
I think with Wobbly, the white flag scared him.
Yeah.
I think
he just wasn't close enough to make a good attack, was he?
No.
Was pushing himself too hard, and
the only time to flash your lights, Alan. Spencer McCarthy winning round 5 at Brands Hatch, and the 3 cars are over the line. A bit of a delay to Gary Craig, Matt Elmore. I'm surprised those bulbs still work. He's used them that much. As various and sundry are making their way. Oh, this is close at the very end.
I believe they've got those everlasting bulbs in now.
Yeah, probably, yeah.
And super hydrodynamic batteries so that they can do everlasting flashes, even at stationary.
Don't give him ideas. What are you trying to do? David Ayres, I wish I could work out what causes it. Andrew, you've not got that far to go, mate. Get it back on the... Get it, keep going. Somebody message him and tell him to keep going.
Oh, yeah, we'll keep going. You won't.
There's a 16th place on the line here.
Oh, Andy, come on, mate.
Come on, get moving.
Come on. Oh.
I don't think that's for position, because I think that's Rog, and he's a lap down, so...
Yeah, so...
There's no point in overtaking him. Let him go, one of those two, yeah. He's only unlapping himself there, folks, so don't worry about Andrew losing a position, because he won't. And he finishes. Yay! Get in.
Yay! Oh, excellent.
Right. My screen freezes are due to the fact that I've got a very old graphics card, in case that helps David Ayres. Right, so let's go through
my screen is like grease lightning and an immaculate conception since I got my 3090.
Oh, really?
Yeah, really.
Oh, right. I need to find, I don't know, a rich person that I know that I don't like that can die and leave me some money so I can get one. Anyway, Spencer McCarthy has won round 5 here at Brands Hatch. He did a fantastic job of keeping Wobbly behind him, who had a number of off tracks, more than is acceptable for a normal human being, and we know he's not normal. Who finished second for BSTV Esports. Third was Sam Blees for Geodesic White. Gary Craig finished in fourth place for BSTV. Matt Elmore, I don't know why my teams have not transitioned in. I don't know. I'll have to sort that out. Matt Elmore finished in fifth place for Spectre 6. Mark Draper finished sixth for Sim Racing Grid Honda. Jamie Wilson finished seventh for Team Chimera, with Russell Cowell finishing in eighth for Spectre 6. Matt Flannery finished ninth for Geodesic Racing. Tony Yates finished 10th for Sim Racing Grid Honda. Chris Needham was in 11th for Air Smart Racing. Tony Walker finished 12th, with Jamie Jeffrey in 13th, Ant Woodward in 14th, Kylie in 15th, Andrew Littler in 16th, 17th was David Johansson, 18th was Carl Hardy, Roger Morton finished 19th, and David Ayres, after his technical issue, finished last. But we hope he comes back for the second race. Top 8 reverses puts Wim Racing Russell Cowell on the front row alongside Jamie Wilson.
Nice one. Oh, well, that's interesting.
I think it's going to be quite a dramatic start to the race, to be honest.
No pushovers, though, guys.
No, definitely not. And, significant amounts of talent stacking up behind those two.
Yes.
We will see how many people. Roger Morton has. He's on track. David Ayres is on track. That's good. That means he's going to take part. Hopefully, he doesn't take in as much gravel as that. Let me get on a different camera. It's just the heat warm up in between the two races. Any surprises in the first one other than Result Clothing not really featuring very well?
Yeah, unfortunate circumstances, really. The rest of it, people battle like we'd expect, and it was fairly static, I thought. It was David was unfortunate. He got shoved back, and that was because he was there mixing it at the front, and that might have changed things at the front. But after he went, there was a gap for Spencer, and that calmed it all down at the front. That was settled down, and nothing changed there. There was lots of battling in the middle, and my teammates going backwards.
Yeah.
But the basic frizz of the middle, it looks like a very familiar sight there. It did, familiar faces in familiar places, because these guys all know how to race, and it's tight.
Yeah, and Stacey on the chat saying struggle street. I love that term, and I am stealing it. If I could spell the word terminology correctly, or type it rather, then it'd be a lot better. As Russell Cowell practices his pit stop.
Hello, Stacey.
And we'll have to get Wild Rides in as a sponsor, as Spencer does his pit stop practice. I'm lost on Struggle Street with no map, is what she's saying at the moment. That's hilarious. I will be stealing that without a doubt.
Sounds like a line out your favourite blues, doesn't it?
Doesn't it just? I mean, oh, yeah. I've got into a very expensive habit of buying blues music on vinyl again, Alan.
Ooh.
It's becoming, it's crippling.
Yes.
Financially crippling.
I admire your taste and your refinement and your sophistication, but I despair for your bank manager.
Yeah.
My brother does the same. That's why he lives in poverty. Yeah, he lives in rags. He lives on cabbage and dresses in rags.
Yeah, just walk.
Got a very fine hi-fi.
At university, I lived on pasta and sauce, if you remember those.
Oh, yes.
Water and cigarettes, and I'm not too far from it now. Just no cigarettes. Right, so let's have a look.
You can afford the water these days, mate.
Yeah. So, as discussed earlier, round 6 we'll start with Russell Cowell on the podium. No, not on the podium. On the front row of the grid, leading us away, poleman. For Spectre 6, Jamie Wilson goes off second, Mark Draper in third, Matt Elmore
Back,
fourth,
everyone.
Gary Craig in fifth, sixth will be Sam Blees, seventh will be Wobbly, Spencer will go off eighth, Matt Flannery goes off ninth,
luck.
Tony Yates goes off 10th, 11th is Chris Needham, Tony Walker goes off 12th, I need to find how I move that forward, there we go. 13th is Jamie Jeffrey, 14th will be Ant Woodward, Jason Haddington goes off 15th, Andrew Littler off 16th, David Johansson way out of position in 17th, 18th will be Carl Hardy, Roger Morton in 19th, David Ayres 20th, 21st will be JB Dejoux. I need to switch to this because we are going green now.
Here we go.
Here we go.
Start's so important here because, you know, it's tough to get past easily against a good defender, and all these guys can drive.
Yes, they can, and Jamie Wilson's absolutely bolted.
He knew that, didn't he?
You will never hear this said often. A great start from a Chimera car. They are famous for bogging down on V8 races and TCR races alike. Wobbly and Sam Blees swapping places constantly at the moment.
Goodness me.
Going further.
Look at that. Like, doesn't it just make you go, wow?
Yeah.
So close, so many cars, so close, cheap by Joe. All of them going like the clappers, and you know it's a lethal corner to come into.
Somebody in the race just shouted, "We're racing!" I think it was Gary Craig trying to put Russell off.
Well, you certainly are, guys. By any definition of the word racing, this
Absolutely. They are all over the track at the minute. This is a proper
Goodness
mob,
me.
isn't it?
That's a gaggle and a half to borrow somebody else's phrase. Goodness me.
Yeah, I'm going to switch quickly to the very front. Now, I know I'm going to stay with this action because this is a bit ridiculous. Oh, no! That's Matt Flannery.
Oh,
Foot on your brake. That's Ant Woodward that's caught him there, I think. Oh, David Ayres off again. Andrew Littler off.
Here's Roger.
Roger.
He's still going.
I think
Oh,
that
my word.
at the back of
Are
the
you okay?
back of the field at the minute, Alan is reserved for Result Clothing cars, sadly.
Well, I don't care as long as we're still going.
Yeah, there's a couple in the pits now, so Ant Woodward has had to go to the pits. David
We've lost
Ayres,
somebody. David has had to go to the pits.
Matt
So
Flannery.
unfortunate.
yeah.
So
Oh,
unfortunate.
Ant Woodward's away already. He's done his fast repair. He's saying, "I've had enough of it." Oh, who's that reset? Jamie Jeffrey's just reset to the pits. So we've had a bit of carnage.
David didn't he? He drove in, so
Yes. Hopefully he'll be away pretty quick. There's no
Hopefully,
reason why
yeah.
he shouldn't be. I think that's Simon on the chat saying that's just Jamie now. I've sorted my stars. That's Simon Trendle on the chat. Be good to have you back in it, but understand that commitments are, you know, real life takes over every so often, doesn't it? So, understandable. JB Dejou's just overtaken Andrew Littler for a position. David Ayres just overtaken Jamie Jeffrey. Jamie Wilson's not having it his own way here. He's been caught by Mark Draper. Behind, Wobbly's just overtaken Matt Elmore.
Stop pushing me.
And elbows out, I think you call that. Ooh, I've got the wrong car in focus now. That was Sam and Spencer.
oh, that's
That was
you know
blue on blue, that.
the only way you get by somebody here is you've just got to go side by side. It
Oh
takes so
my
long, you know.
giddy aunt.
It's a risky old business.
Tell me you saw that, Alan. That was two
How
geodesic
did they
cars.
stay on the track?
I bet there was giggling and all sorts going on in there.
Oh, they're like kids, aren't they? But my God, they can drive.
They really can. Gary Craig here is getting a bit of a let go. Oh, there's just racing everywhere. I don't know where to point the camera next.
Well, you just
Oh, hang on. We've got an overtake coming. No, we haven't, because he's on the wrong side of Jamie Wilson here. This cannot work out, surely, although he's got loads of speed.
you just this is what you have to do to get past here, though, isn't it? You just got to go side by side, gung ho, hang it all out.
That was impressive. Although that's. Oh, I thought he was going to be on the grass.
Oh,
How has he got that much grip so early in this race? Mark Draper round the outside of Jamie Wilson for the lead of the race.
Oh, he's got Jamie in his boot now. And
Yeah,
we've
he's
got
packed
Gary.
some extra luggage there, hasn't he?
Gary's sitting there waiting.
Well, I think Gary is pretty much in this fight now.
He's just.
2 Hondas and a Veloster. I'm sure there's a joke there somewhere.
He's like one of those alligators sitting there with his mouth open, waiting to just catch whatever comes his way. Come.
Yeah, like my cat's sat under a tree waiting for the birds to fall in the mouth.
I'm only going to do it soon, don't worry.
So, Russell Cowell under fire here from Spencer first and Sam Blease second.
Catching you up then, and I'll...
Nearly losing 2 positions in one turn there, but managed to retain one of them. The cutback is very much in Sam's favour, though. Lovely bit of racing, that.
Fantastic driving by these guys.
Absolutely beautiful.
Just, you know, it's,
Yeah, don't
they
just
make it look so simple. That's the thing, is they almost devalue their own performances by just how they make it look like everybody could do this.
They do, yeah.
And let me tell you, that's not the case at all.
No.
And I've been trying for a number of years now, and I can't do it.
Well, I've been doing iRacing since 2013, and I'm rubbish. Wobbly, struggling to get past Russell Cowell. Mark Draper, losing positions. He's gone wide. He's gone wide.
Oh, that is wide.
That's Jamie Jeffrey keeping well off the track. So that was at Sheen's. Mark Draper's lost the car.
He's side by side again. Look at this. It's just there's so few places where you can really try and force a pass. And,
look at this, though. Look at this. Gary Craig fighting in his Veloster against a Honda for the lead of the race. I never thought I'd say that. I know Spencer's just won in the Veloster, but that's Spencer.
It's a bonny sight. And but I think Gary's actually learned to work that car, isn't he? He's been driving it for a few weeks now, and you know, it seems to me he's really getting a grip of it because his pace just seems to be going up.
You know what? I'm loving these feet. Ooh, crikey! We're on for a drag race for the lead of the race. I'm loving these feature races. They've turned out like this so many times. Gary had to bail there. He couldn't do the Mark Draper situation. And look at Spencer. Look at Spencer. That's hilarious. He's like, hello, coming through. Excuse me.
Oh, dear me.
This is getting a bit silly. Oh, God. That was inappropriate contact there from Sam Blease on Mark Draper.
Certainly cozying up to Mark, wasn't it?
Closing up.
Cozying up.
Yeah, he could read his dental records at that distance. Oh, look at the control. Look at the control.
Oh, goodness.
Dear me.
You've just got to do that. You've just got to jump.
Oh, no.
It's trouble. That's trouble.
That's expensive. We saw it live.
That's made a mess of Mr. Draper's car.
I think Sam Blease is in the same
Sam
place.
as well.
Oh, God. Yeah, I'm pretty
Sam
sure.
had a real hit as well, didn't he?
Shouldn't look like that, but never mind.
They're both towing. Have we got a fast repair?
They do have a fast repair, but the tow is going to be what? A minute and
a big one.
33 or something like that.
Bad place to get your towing from, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Unfortunate. But close racing, you know, and the split second, what looks like a reasonable, sensible thing, and it can all go also over tit.
Yes. Big shout out at the moment to David Johansson and Carl Hardy, both up 10 positions from the start.
Yeah. Just quietly going about their job.
Yep.
no dramas, working their way through the field and keeping out of trouble.
Sorry, I've just read the Muse comment in the chat, which went from a special touch to a full-on grope. Oh no, that's Russell Cowell facing the wrong way.
Oh,
What
he's not
on
racing
earth?
now.
He-
That's the wrong way, Russell.
That's one of the best. That's one of the best statements I've heard all week. He's not racing now. He's going to get a tyre off right, and round he'll go on the merry-go-round of hell.
Who hasn't been there in that wall? He probably saw my initials as he came out. Like that.
Yeah, he didn't do enough damage the first time, Alan, so he reversed into the wall twice.
Eek. Well, do you think he's going to continue, or do you think he's going to take pit time?
I don't know. I
mean, I think he would be tempted to continue if he could.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to pick up points, aren't you, really? I mean, it's Brands Hatch. We've seen how much attrition there is already.
Well, he's got a pit stop coming, hasn't he? If he wants to try and, if he can keep it hanging out. How many laps are we from an early pit stop?
Oh, I don't know. I'm still on replay. It's that intense. I'm still on replay. We are probably on the pit stop window now. The very earliest you could pit is probably now. Jamie Wilson still leading this race. Unbelievable. Because I've not seen a Chimera car leading a race for a couple of seasons with the performance of the Honda. This is brilliant to see. That is Spencer behind him.
I've seen it in the V8s.
Yes, Simon Trendle, yeah.
Yeah.
Spanking the V8 field.
Yeah. But this is great to see Jamie there. And he's giving these guys a run for their money, and some of the best drivers in the league. He's making them work.
He really is, yeah. He is also one of the best drivers in the league, even though he'll deny that vehemently. Gets a little kissy from Spencer behind him. That's one of the Muse special touches. And yes, evening guys, he says. Right then. Roger is in the pits for his scheduled stop. And we'll go back to the
Good night, everyone.
racing.
The rest of the race.
Oh, I think Roger has just retired the car, by what I heard in the chat.
Oh no!
Which is a massive shame. Not sure why.
What's happening, Rog?
Yeah, we'll have to understand what's going on there. These top three here, they are not quite the closest on track. The closest on track is these three, just about, which is Wobbly, Matt, and David Johansson. David Johansson's got lots and lots of pace, up to 11 places. Carl Hardy.
Well, David's getting to serious competition now. Him and Carl are both, you know, they've got to the sharp end, effectively. I mean.
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
So.
And Carl Hardy up 11 positions as well.
Fantastic drive by the pair of them.
Yes.
Because fortunes have been a bit up and down for a lot of people today. And neither of them had good luck in the first race, so they were due. But they're doing a really pro job of making the best of the situation in the second.
Yeah, and I think Gary Craig is playing a very, very sensible game. He's with the front group. He's just not pressing. Well, I was going to say he's not pressing the issue. He's just decided to make me a liar because he's literally in the boot lid of Spencer in front of him.
He's saving fuel like a maniac.
He is. And Woodward went off track just now, but I think that's just a temporary excursion. I don't think there was any. Oh, this is going to be a bit tasty. So he's lifted Jamie out of the corner. I'll come back to my previous statement shortly. There is... Oh, where's Gary gone?
Oh,
where's Gary? Oh, there he is. He's still there. Thank
you. It's a blink. It's only a blink.
Believe it or not, there's 0.38 of a second between all the first three cars in this race. And I think the championship...
It can't be far to Matt and Wobbly and David. Crikey, you know... And look at their times: 1:32, 1:32, 1:32, 1:32, 1:32, 1:32.
It's just so close in this league. You know, you're all the way back. Even, you know,
And that's,
Sorry, go on.
I was going to say, and that's in really close quarters as well, Pete. You know,
Yeah.
it's not like they've got lots of room and they can choose their line and everything, and you know, everything's swinging. They're all hammer and tong, cheek by jowl, and still pulling in these amazing lap times, just like the race don't fall over each other.
Yeah, I thought David Johansson was going to do something with Matt Elmore then, but he overshot the corner.
I don't think Davey's the kind of driver who's going to rush into something.
No.
He'll work it out, you know.
Yeah.
So I think
Hopefully he will.
I don't think he'll want to throw away his position on a bit of a risky overtake when he can hold fire a little bit and do a better job later.
Yeah, agree. Sam Blease is back running, as is Mark Draper, but Mark Draper's a lap down. This will certainly stir up the championship, it has to be said, because some of the fastest guys have had an incident. And Spencer is piling the pressure on at Jamie now, but Jamie is clearly the man for the job. He is shouldering it very, very well.
Yes. Well, it doesn't surprise me to see this kind of performance coming from Jamie. He's shown a lot of maturity and just sheer chutzpah and skill since the car change. It's kind of like he's been released from a box and he's actually been freed to actually drive the way that and express himself in the car the way that it can.
Yeah. I mean, Spencer's literally crawling all over him, but behind Spencer is Gary Craig just there in the background. And Wobbly has caught a lot of them.
They're all in each other's pocket, aren't they? Wobbly's in the 131s now. His fuel will be down a little bit and, well.
Oh, and that was Spencer getting the cutback on Jamie Wilson. And Gary Craig's having a look now as well. Maybe this is a track for the Veloster.
Well, it's doing pretty good at the moment.
Isn't it?
But, you know,
I mean, look
Spencer
at
will
the
get a
gap.
drive out of any car.
Spencer's got nearly a second on him already.
It makes you wonder why it took him so long to get by there, and just showed you what a good job Jamie was doing, doesn't
Oh, yeah. He was obviously keeping it to the racing line, optimising his speed through the corners. You can see David Johansson there behind Matt Elmore. In fact, you can't, because you can't see Matt Elmore because David's that close to him. Piling the pressure on again. Oh, and Carl's off to the pits.
So that's interesting.
Yeah, that's Wilson and Wobbly. Sounds like a really rubbish solicitors, doesn't it?
Well, somebody tells you bad jokes.
Yeah. Oh, who was that? Tony Walker has just dove into pit lane as well. This battle is still raging. This is David Johansson with flashy Elmore.
I would say Matt's holding David up a little bit, and he won't care.
I've just seen Spencer's last lap time, and it's a 1:31.9. What on earth? How do you do that in a race situation? That's obscene.
Well, you know what he's like. He's a great front runner.
Isn't he? But that's like an entire second faster than Gary Craig, who's fast. What's going on?
He's got a light car.
Yeah, he really does, yeah. Andrew Littler's just entered the pits, and Woodward has already been in and left again. So he's had his scheduled stop as well.
I'm interested to see if anything comes off the pit stops with the leading guys. I'm interested to see what Gary goes off in the pits.
The Mew says that was a sweet move. I think it was the Spencer move to take the lead. Because it was absolutely millimetre perfect.
I see all the time. There were times that Spencer's put his car into a gap that isn't even there when he starts off to do the move, and then just suddenly appears in front of him like magic.
Ooh,
He
that
goes
was a very odd line from Matt Elmore, and he's going to get done here.
Oh,
Good cut back from David Johansson. Going to stuff it down the
David's got
inside.
the line.
He has got the line, and he's going to block past this one. That's lovely. That is brilliant. They were gaining hand over fist on Gary, but with that little battle...
Matt will be desperate to get this back.
He's certainly fighting, isn't he?
If David can just split them, if he can just go, I think he's made the pass now.
I think that's
Matt can't fight back. It's
Yeah.
a done deal.
Yeah, I was just about to say it's a done deal. Through Dingledell they go, and then up through Sheens. Easy to lose it on the outside of Sheens. Into Sterling's, and then Clearways. Has Matt Elmore got the run out of that last turn? Gary Craig is overtaking. I think that is Andrew
It's Andy.
Yeah, he's
He's gone. Be okay.
Oh, he's okay. He's gone a bit
Andy, but no
extracurricular.
wall.
Yeah. Like me, no stranger to returning to the track. Matt Elmore into the pits for his scheduled stop. He'd had enough of those. Well, you don't change your tyres, do you? So he'd had enough of that situation either way. Way back in the field as Wobbly comes through to do some lapping is Kylie Haddington. A very standout car, that orange, white and black livery. And he was in close contention with Mark Draper, significantly out of position.
Yes, poor Mark. That was very unfortunate because he was doing very well, wasn't he, at the front there?
He was, but something to note here. So that is Jamie Wilson. This is Wobbly Kneecaps. So they've both pitted. So we're going to have to see at the when everything's done in terms of pit stops, where they actually end up in terms of Gary Craig, David Johansson, Carl Hardy. Yeah. These guys are in traffic. That's going to slow them down, surely. The other guys...
Well, David and Carl were together, weren't they? So they will be... They've been together, but Gary's the mystery man here because he was there, and I'm pretty sure he would have been fuel saved when he had go from two cars for a big chunk of that first half of the race.
Yeah, and I know you can fuel save on any track, anywhere. As Spencer does yet another fastest lap. What is wrong with that human? 131.794. But I don't know that you can do it so much when you're in this company on Brands Hatch. It doesn't lend itself mentally to fuel saving because it's frantic.
Yes, there is that. But Gary was boxing clever, wasn't he? He wasn't making any attempts to be aggressive. He was just
just
sitting there and let them
yeah,
battle it out in front of him.
Absolutely.
We'll have to see. We shall see what transpires. Point being that, of course, Spencer's knocking out purple laps like they're going out of fashion.
Yeah, and probably, as we give him 5 seconds worth of footage, probably staying out there so that he prevents other people from getting lead laps. Because you do score... Do you score points for lead laps in this one? I can't remember now. It's my league and I don't even know what the rules are. Oh, who's this? Right, so Jamie has been caught by one kneecaps of Wobbly.
Wow.
And that's... Is that David?
And Matt just behind them.
No, that is Mark Draper, a lap down. It looks the same, but it's not.
Isn't that Matt Elmore behind
Wobbly? No, unfortunately, I think it's Mark Draper. It is Mark Draper.
Oh.
But you're forgiven because the colour schemes. Yeah. Colour schemes are the same.
It says he's there, that's all.
It does, but he's the position behind, actually. There's a lapped Mark Draper in between.
Oh.
Oh, and this is on now. So Wobbly trying to go around the outside of Jamie. That's not going to work, but he will get the cutback opportunity. No, he's not even trying that. He's just trying around the outside. And that's not going to work. He's going to have to keep it around the outside or give best. He's given best. Back with the second and third position here.
Oh, he's been out there now.
Yeah, Spencer still touring the circuit on a Sunday drive. Oh, and Wobbly trying to work this into his favour. He's not managed it yet. This is still going on.
He will do. He
Yeah.
will do. He's got the tenth of extra that he needs, I think, to actually do it. When he just needs the right moment, doesn't he?
He does. Mark Draper showing how fast he can go. He's just been he's been part of a crash that put him well out of contention.
Yeah, he never deserved to be back there anyway, did he?
No.
He was running top 5.
He was. David Johansson and Jamie Jeffrey are currently in the pits, just in case you were wondering who was doing what. As these two come...
It's Wobbly's got the line now.
He's got that done, I think. Jamie's going to try and do the cutback. Oh, he's going around the outside. That's a...
He won't get that.
No, that's destined for failure, that one. It's so much further, isn't it? So much further. Or is he?
But, you know...
Do you know what? He's just proven us both liars, Alan.
Well, he's still in the fight, let's say that.
Yeah. I mean, he'll be loving that. That's what these guys turn up to race for.
I think they're all getting value for money out there tonight. Let me tell you.
Yeah, definitely.
Except for poor Mr. Ears, who's suffered the living hells. And poor old resort have struggled a bit tonight.
Yeah.
But Carl's doing brilliant for us at the moment. So fingers crossed. I've got my fingers crossed. Which is great because I couldn't cross them a few months ago.
What, it affected your fingers as well?
Oh God, yeah.
Oh,
Massive
God,
nerve
right.
damage into my thumb and fingers on my right hand. Yeah.
Wow.
It's still swollen up, Pete. It's still swollen.
Really? God.
Yeah.
So Spencer McCarthy goes round again, but Gary Craig does not. He's just stopped in his box for his standard service. Carl Hardy assumes second place, up 16 places currently. He owes us a pit stop. Chris Needham is in the pits. As these two go battling again. This is one of the most engaging little battles of all season, actually. This has been very good. The Mew says I was correct about it being Spencer's overtake. The Mew really needs to come racing, doesn't he? He's well invested. Yeah, get on the track. Yeah. JB doing his pit stop. And Matt Elmore suddenly under masses of pressure from David Johansson, who's just come out of the pits. So this is the same battle that was on before.
It's exactly the same that was on before.
Nobody's gained or lost on this one, which is unusual. Matt Flannery has just entered pit road. And so has race leader Spencer McCarthy.
Let's see how quick Spencer is. And
nearly a full lap ahead of his own teammate.
Has Gary stopped yet?
Gary has been to pit road, yeah. It'll be interesting to see whether...
In the front. He's in the front.
He's currently head of the charging pack.
Come on, Gary.
Wobbly is not that far behind him. Jamie Wilson is obviously not far behind. Spencer McCarthy is coasting out of pit lane, learning like the Stig used to do on Top Gear. He's learning Italian whilst racing. He's got it in his ear. It's telling him such phrases as buongiorno.
Buongiorno.
Yeah, prego, grazie. Yeah, it's doing all of that. He'll be fluent Italian by the time he finishes the race. David Johansson. Well, there's battles all over the place now. So David Johansson and Matt Elmore struggling. to figure it out. David Johansen's really done a beautiful job of
Oh,
the pass on Surtees there.
tight. That was tight through there. He held that beautifully, didn't
Yeah, it was gorgeous, wasn't it? Lovely
he?
overtake.
I've been very impressed with Dave's driving.
Yeah, he's a talent, that's for sure. Jamie Wilson, it looks like he's under pressure from a car. That's Mark Draper. He's a lap down after his coming together with Sam Blees earlier in the race. And Wobbly has started closing in on his sister teammate. Wobbly drives, even though he's in the big baby car, because Wobbly is, what is he, Alan?
Well,
He's a giant child, is what he is.
Well, you did intimate that he was a large for a child.
Yes, yeah. I don't think they make diapers in his size, but if they did, they'd sell a lot just to him. He is closing in on Gary Craig, who also drives BSTV. This is the closest battle on track right now. We've also got Matt Elmore and Carl Hardy thrashing it out. No, we haven't. We've got Matt Elmore and David Johansen thrashing it out. Carl Hardy is in a bit of no man's land.
Yeah, Carl's suffered with the pit stops, I think, lately.
Yeah, I think he's going to find he's had quite a...
He was with Dave. He was just behind David. Now
He was,
Matt's
yeah.
crept in.
Yeah. He's up to 11 positions from his start position, so...
Right.
He's doing a great job there. Conversely, Russell Cowell down 10 positions from his start after we saw him hit the wall, reversing at the wall twice, and generally do a bit of frustration. Oh,
Making a comeback, though.
yeah, this has just happened.
It's not Carl, is it?
It's not, it's Mark Draper.
Oh no.
Entering clearways. I don't know what's happened here.
Oh, come on.
Oh, he's got a tyre. He's got 2 tyres off. Oh, don't hit that car. Oh, my. Gee whiz. Right. Oh, and he's reset. Okay.
Oh, he's reset. I was hoping that was going to be not as bad as it looked. Probably doing the suspension.
Yeah, this is also a replay. I don't think it's as dramatic as the last one. This is classed as an off-track for Spencer. It's going to be like half a tyre off, isn't it? Or, oh no, that's a full car. That's a full car. That's a one-lap penalty, isn't it? Surely.
As far as Spencer goes, you don't see that kind of lots of car control.
Not usually, no.
I get that out of the line going out the pits.
You and me both. Spencer must have a warp speed button on his wheel, the Mew says, because he has pulled out a whopping and enormous 8.8 seconds on the rest of the field.
But it doesn't. Well, you know, these two are having at it behind him, and that's making his job a bit easier, isn't it? Because you know, his lap times aren't anything better than what these guys are doing. They're all very close in laps. They're all in the 1:32.3s, for heaven's sake.
I know. It's just bonkers, isn't it?
But he's pulled 8 seconds because I think Gary's got one eye in front, one eye behind, hasn't he?
Yeah, he does, yeah.
And that's not good for you.
I think he's got more than one eye behind him at the moment. I know I would if Wobbly was chasing me.
Well, he's certainly got his hands full. It's not, you know, Wobbly's a dangerous man to have in your mirror. I wouldn't be giving much of my chances of keeping him back.
Wobbly's just dangerous, really, isn't he? In all senses of the word.
No, he's unpredictable, he's Wobbly.
Yeah.
That is his charm.
I have never, ever heard the word wobbly and charm said in the same sentence before.
I'm an originator when it comes to language.
Oh, well, yeah. Oh, right, so the Mew says he's a bit quiet tonight. He's having a scrap with a laptop.
Stands no chance.
Yeah.
A battle of wits. I never won one.
Yeah, I'd lose a battle of wits with a brick, I think. Right, so Wobbly still in close contention here with Gary. This is for second place, folks. The next closest battle is back here. This is Russell Cowell putting Tony Walker under pressure, I should say. And this is for 10th place. Good points on offer here. Excuse me.
Well, you know, Tony's a real scrapper.
He's done some great racing. Last season we saw some brilliant results from him. We've yet to see that replicated this season, but it's definitely due.
Mr. Yates is doing well again. He drove outstandingly well last week and he got a Driver of the Night award.
Yeah. Oh, really? Right. Okay.
Yes. From our associate.
Ah. What, from Clyde, you mean?
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
He was kind to me because he went first and let me have David.
Right. Oh, this is getting very tasty now, as the Mew says that I crack him up. There's plenty more of more ridiculous sayings where that came from, I can assure you. Oh, that's a good cutback opportunity. Yeah. Is he going to stuff it down the inside into Westfield? He is. This is going to be a slow corner for both of them. But he's done that, I reckon. Yep.
Yeah, he's done it.
All sorted. And then behind them, David Johansson now starting to close in on
closing up a
Jamie.
little bit, aren't they? We're getting a 5-car train here.
And we're not that far from the end of the race all of a sudden.
6.
4 minutes to go.
Really? Goodness me.
It's crazy, isn't it, how quick this series goes. You could easily be entertained for 2 hours on this one. Russell Cowell closing in still on Tony Walker. Tony's doing everything he needs to keep him behind him.
But you know what it is? You know, in most races, it starts off and then they kind of gather in intensity and fever pitch as they go on, as they get closer to the end. It's like the molecules are speeding up.
Yeah.
But in this, it's not like that with these guys, because it starts off like that.
And stays like that. Yeah.
So you can't tell when you get near the end of the race. Do you know all the little clues that you get near the end of the race? You don't get them in this because they're there in the first lap.
Yeah, Russell Cowell has had to visit pit road and he's stopping.
Oh no! Come on, Russell.
Is he stopping or is he driving? No, he's stopping. So he must have had a penalty.
Oh. Well, we don't like that.
No.
Commentator.
And this is quite a train of cars now. So this is Wobbly in second, Gary in third, Jamie in fourth, David Johansson in fifth, Matt Elmore, you can just about see him clinging on. He's not flashing his lights, so he's not that obvious right now. In sixth place in the distance there.
Look at that. I mean, they're still all within sight, you know, after 40 minutes of absolutely cheek by jowl, foot to the floor racing, and they're still within a handful of seconds. Astonishing.
Yeah, no white flag this lap, so at least 2 more.
One more. Come along. They're spread out a bit now. Maybe they've actually pulled it off with a couple of laps to go. You know, Wobbly did a late overtake this week. He was running third and did a late overtake. He did. And I should have realised it was near the end when he pulled off his smart move past Matt.
Yeah, I mean, Spencer still holds the fastest lap. He did it quite a while ago now, 1:31.7. Wobbly, so slow behind him, really, so slow. 1:31.939. It's almost glacial speed at which Wobbly is travelling right now.
Oh, lightish cars, but you know, tyres are well worn down by now.
I would think so, yeah. I mean, these tyres seem to last forever in this series these days. Not much wear at all.
That's interesting, isn't it?
And the Mew's right, actually. It's been a good race. Passing has taken some thought, not just chucking it up the inside. But everyone's been pretty close, except Spencer, who we should point out has a 9-second lead as we get the white flag from Barney. And you're right, the Mew. This track you have to work and overtake from a couple of corners back. Sorry, Alan.
No, it's okay. It's okay. I was just it's 9 seconds. I hadn't realised it had gone to 9 seconds already.
Well, as you were talking, it moved to 10.
Oh, goodness.
This is ridiculous. Right, David Johansson wants 4th place. He is absolutely gunning it, and in turn, Jamie's had to turn up the wick, and he's now on the back of Gary. So this is going to be tasty to the end.
Yes, well. This has been a great race tonight.
Oh, it's been brilliant.
I love Brax. I mean, to people who, it really does make you work for your overtakes.
Oh, God, yeah.
You're quite right. You really do have to work. You have to sculpt each one, and it takes a while. I mean these side by sides around 3 corners. If we had to watch them suffer through, going
Yeah, it certainly does nothing for my reliance on blood pressure medication.
No, exactly.
As Spencer has the time to slow down, flashlights,
I thought he was going on the grass then.
I know, yeah. And that is a fantastic victory for him, as Wobbly, Gary, Jamie, and David Johansson all compiling across the line.
Yeah.
Well done to all of those.
Fantastic.
Matt Elmore pulls off straight away out of Carl Hardy's way. And then we've got quite a gap back to Tony Yates, who's done a great job. He's up 2 positions. Chris Needham also up 2 positions. Where's Tony Walker? There he is. That was Chris.
That's a good drive by Tony, isn't it?
It was, yeah, very good. Russell Cowell is under a bit of pressure right at the very end of the race here from Sam Blease and Ant Woodward. But he's going to probably hold this. That's going to be a bit of a dent in Sam Blease's stranglehold on the championship. We'll have to see how it transpires. But there's no Stephen Walker here. So it's not going to be the massive impact. Potentially
I ran out of fuel going over
that it could have been. Russell Cowell had run out of fuel, so he had to pit. I've just heard that through the chat. Wow, that was some couple of races, Alan. It really was.
Fancy Russell running out of fuel just at the end there. Yeah, fantastic. What an evening's entertainment that was. 2 races right out the top draw. The top sprint race and the feature race was fantastic as well. Absolutely brilliant. Racing like this non-stop. Passing, weaving, side by side, chasing, failing to chase, being chased, you name it. We've had the lot.
We really have, yeah. It's been brilliant to watch. What a fantastic spectacle we've been treated to tonight. Brands Hatch, the Indy circuit that we did last time, was a bit of a storm in a teacup. Flying fighter craft round a teacup is the way that Bill Switzer used to describe it. Let's see what we can do in terms of interviews tonight. What do you think it's going to do to the championship, Alan? Do you think it's going to... Well, it's going to mess up Sam Blease's championship for a start. I mean, they do have drop weeks, obviously. But even then, it's something else, isn't it?
Yes. But it adds a level to interest. And, I keep saying Spencer's due. Spencer should have a banner. And he's won another race. I'm just hoping, this season he actually gets enough races in, doesn't have to lose races, and manages to compete fully in the league and right to the end. Because I'd really like to see him with one of those golden banners in his car. I would, but
he's probably the fastest of these racers that's never won it.
Well, that's right.
I think.
I
That's
think
fair to say.
he's been such a servant of the series. Geodesic have as well, and I really would like to see him to have that, and it's certainly worthy of it. But he's got to win it. He's just got to be put the races in and win it. But I hope that every time he wins a race, it will encourage him to actually go through the rest of the season with that in mind, of keep getting an old man happy.
Yeah, that sounds reasonable and fair to me. Right, let's commence the interviews. I shall, if I press all these buttons in the right order, end up with one Spencer Double Win McCarthy to speak to. Good evening.
Good evening. How are you?
Oh, we're all very good, and we're even better after watching you demolish the field. You had so much time on your hands. You decided to do some slowdown, some
Weavy, flashy.
Oh yes, yeah, and all well deserved. It has to be said. The only respectable time to flash your lights. It has to be said. You've wrestled the lead of the championship away from your sister teammate, as it is this time, Sam Blease. Without a doubt now, because you're only 2 points apart previously. Anyway,
There was a small wrestle actually. It was actually, I think,
yeah, we saw it. There was proper door-to-door contact. It was like, what are you guys doing?
Well, so I got obviously he had a look down. Was it Jamie? No, who was it? Russ.
Russ, yes.
Yeah, so he had looked down the outside of Russ going into Sterling's, and then I obviously had to run through the corner massively. He then just stuck to the what is the next corner's inside on the white line.
I think we prefer to speak about that as he turned in on you.
Oh no. So he stuck to the right, absolutely fair. So I then stuck to the middle of the track as I came past him, as you're allowed to do, right? So I'm kind of pinning him to the inside, and I think we did a little bit of door to door because that's nice. And as we got to that last corner, I was like, well, I've kind of got the run. Let's try and hang it around the outside. And yeah, we had a little bit of a rub.
Yeah.
Rubbing is racing. And yeah, it was fine. It's good.
It was described, I'm trying to find it on the chat, by the Mew as some special touching that turned into a full-on grope.
Yes. I think I don't know. I think I might have run to second base and then backed out to first. That's what I'm wondering.
yeah. But you can't argue with a double victory, can you? What a fantastic pair of races. You didn't get tangled up like some others did, including your own sister teammate Sam Blease. He ended up in a fracas, as it were, with.
Well, like last time out, we all have a bit of a downer weekend or downer evening sometimes, and we can all make mistakes. We're not perfect, so Sam obviously come unstuck a couple of times. So yeah, I think it goes around, comes around, just about.
Tell you what, we'll make light of it, Spencer, but you did a fantastic overtake tonight that was breathtaking. Peerless timing, and it's not a coincidence that you make all these incredible overtakes and get into the front of the races, because it's just an exhibition of incredible skill. It's a pleasure to watch it.
Thanks, Alan. I think it's my home track, right? I mean, as you guys know, I do a bit in real life, and this is 40 minutes away from me, Brands Hatch, and I've done probably many laps around here. Mostly Indy circuit, done the GP circuit a few times, but it's a magical circuit. Paddock Hill Bend is one of those corners that you line people up for on the entry. You try and get the undercut as you come out. You got the inside for druids. There are ways to overtake around here, but it is a tricky track to overtake. And you just got to plan it over sort of two or three corners really. So yeah, it's I love it. I love the track. Could keep on going around here. Till
I love it as well, and it just gives people a chance to show their skill. I think it's great because it's hard to get by people when they're defending hard, isn't it? They can give you a real fight.
Oh yeah. You can position the car quite shrewdly around here.
Well, I'm not sure that I can. I don't quite know which shrewd is, but.
Well, the next time that me and Gary are down in Brands Hatch, we'll have to look you up and.
Thank you very much.
Yeah,
for sure.
Get a free dodgy hot dog off a stand somewhere.
Dirty burger.
Dirty burger, mystery meat burger. Yeah.
Yes.
So, are you fully like tractor beam on for getting a gold banner in the windscreen of the car this time?
I would love to say yes, Pete, but
Yeah.
but
Here we go. Go on.
it seems to be holiday season.
Oh, never.
So I'm disappearing to try and wax my snowboard. That's not a euphemism. In Canada.
I've heard of waxing the dolphin before, but not.
Not the snowboard. Well, yeah, well endowed. No,
The arboreal forest, are you by any chance?
Yeah.
I'm heading over to the Banff National Park over in Canada.
Oh, can't be
yeah.
more jealous. I wanted to go out to Calgary and Banff a few years ago. Had the opportunity, didn't take it, regretted it for the rest of my existence.
So it's been 4 years since we went. So I been gagging for it. So looking forward to it. The family's going out there for 2 weeks, so I will miss the next 2.
Oh,
So
dear.
I doubt I will get my yellow band.
Well, let's see. You never know what happens in this particular series. It could still be yours to fight for. Anybody you want to shout out to before we let you disappear and go and get... I don't say this. Go and get the wax out and start rubbing.
Who first? I think Wobbly deserves a shout. I think his pace this season, and obviously whether it's the leveling of the bop or whatever it is, but he's obviously gelling with that Honda, and I think it's amazing that he's getting the lap times he's doing, and he's on it now. So, which you can only expect from Wobbly, right? So it's just really nice to see him up the front of the TCR now and giving us all a load of pressure. He's a great guy to race with. So that's number one. Number two, obviously Sam. A bit of a poor weekend or poor night, tonight. But I think he's always there. He's always pushing. He's always respectful. He's definitely he helps try and push the series on all the time. So big shout to him. And just then to the rest of the guys, it was good, clean racing tonight. No problems with anyone. Andrew needs to stop throwing it to the grass every time people come to lap him.
Yeah, there's a bit of panic in that, but
yeah, a little bit. But everyone, great night, and thanks guys for putting on the broadcast.
Awesome stuff. Great racing tonight, and a masterful victory in the end. I think you could have won it by just over 12 seconds, but you
cheeky that is.
Yeah.
Well, I'll take the pole. I'll take the 2 fastest laps and the 2 wins. That'll be enough. I mean,
fastest lap, right? A 1:31.65. That's qualifying pace. That
on the same lap that Wobbly did his 1:30.
It was so
I did
funny.
it in both races.
Oh no, you didn't!
I did. Literally, he looks up as he's finished his lap. He looks up and goes, "Oh no!"
I'd like to have been in the chat with him at that point because that would have been priceless.
It was funny.
Oh dear. In that case, we'll see you in like 3 weeks' time when you can be bothered to join us and put your snowboard
wax
down.
away.
And you wax away. Yeah. Spencer McCarthy.
Look after yourselves. Cheers.
Yeah, good night.
Oh dear, funny interview. That was class. Who came second in the first race? Can you remember?
No.
No, neither can I. I'm literally gonna have to cheat. So the screen's gonna go a bit. The screen's gonna go a bit funny, folks, because I ain't got a clue who won the first one. So heat. There we go. So it was Wobbly, then Sam, then Gary. Right. Okay. Let me just get rid of that. There we go. Sorry about that. It's part of the punishment. Wobbly then. Oh, do you know what that means? Do you know what that means? We've got to interview Wobbly. Oh my god.
Yeah, well, yeah, absolutely.
I'd rather defecate in my hands and clap enthusiastically than interview Wobbly Kneecaps. But as it stands, here we are. Good evening, Wobbly Kneecaps. How you doing?
Hello, Pete Bingham, Peter of the Binghams.
Two second places, so first loser twice. That's how I read that.
Okay, that's fine.
Couldn't do anything about Spencer tonight, no?
No, in the first race, I had a bit of a bad start. I did manage to. I think Spencer was quicker in the beginning of the run. I was better in the second, like in the middle bit of the race. But we were basically on the same pace, and we were, yeah, I think he mentioned it in the
He
interview as well.
did,
We were just swapping passes lap times, and like he pipped me with I think 200ths of a second on the first one and 300ths of a second on the second one. I did think that he had a little bit of more pace, like a slightly faster. I think it was the other way around on Sebring. Obviously, he did miss the start of the second race then, but and then on the second race, I knew I got in a bit of a tussle in the beginning. Spencer came through. Figured that I was closing the gap to Gary, Jamie, and Spencer, and then I thought, well, I can go in like early, so I can drive my own lap times. And then Spencer got through on Gary and Jamie, and then Jamie and Gary started fighting right in front of me, and then I basically knew that I didn't have the pace to pull back like 3 seconds because it cost me 3 seconds. So I just pitted early with the idea not having to fight Gary and Jamie. And then I missed my pit stall.
Oh, we didn't see that. I might have to go.
I was side by side with Jamie already in the pit, and then I just overshot it.
I'm gonna find it because that sounds priceless.
And then I couldn't get it in reverse quick enough, so I think I lost about 4 seconds, ish.
Heavens.
Yeah. So yeah.
You were doing great tonight. I thought, matey. I thought you've done really well. You know, fantastic pace, and living with
great.
Spencer. You know, and. Really, I think you're doing really well in this season, generally, matey. You know, you should be very happy with yourself.
Yeah, I'm quite pleased with how the race is turning out. Second place, it is what it is. And I actually now see on screen. I mean, I figured that. Look at this. I was closing on Jamie, then I started shifting up and back and forth just to get a little bit of speed. So I was already side by side. So I'm like, I'm gonna pump him. I'm fine now, so I can ride my own pace because I knew there was a gap. And then I overshot it, and then I couldn't get him. And then I ended up behind Jamie again, and I already figured that I couldn't get first, and then now I had to work for second place.
Oh, that's priceless. Love it.
Yeah. So I mean, it was okay. It was a fun race. It's a intense track and really hard to overtake, though. Jamie gave me a hard fight. Gary, well, he's not good enough to give me a good fight. So yeah.
Oh, fighting talk. So yeah, I mean, 2 second places. You can't be too disappointed with that, even though I am, because that means that you're going to be competitive for longer. You were 6th in the championship. I think you're going to rocket forward. You're certainly going to pass Gary.
Yeah, with the drop score, I was on the same as Sam, so I think it's going to be 3rd now.
And I think you're going to annihilate Steven, who's not here. So yeah, you're going to be. I think you're going to be 3rd. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah. I was just making sure that an intelligent person worked it out, so I had to repeat it. What was that funny for some reason? I don't know. When was fact funny? You know. But anyway, where's the next race? Do you know what? I don't know.
I know where the next race is.
No, you don't. You're looking for it the same as I am right
now.
No. You are looking for it.
No,
it's Mid-Ohio.
No, I mean, this place because I'm pretty decent on bench and I'm pretty good on. I like Mid-Ohio as well. I'm pretty good at it as well. So
lovely circuit.
Mid-Ohio is difficult though. Are you sure it's for you?
Pete, I'm not. They don't call me Pete. I mean, I could keep it on the track. Did you see how synchronized off-road track?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, with you and Spencer.
You did.
Was it you and Spencer?
It was me and Spencer.
Yeah, we saw that.
I was, and he thought that I was gonna overtake him, and I was sort of screaming in Discord, "I'm on the grass as well." So it's quite fun.
If it makes you feel any better, you were more on the grass you were grassier than he was.
Yeah, he threw it on the grass because he dipped one tire in and he was scared to go out on the right. And I saw I had to dip out of the wrong line, so I figured I might just stick it on the right straightly on the grass.
Yeah, and behind you, no, it wasn't the same lap actually, so I'll just ignore that.
And did you? One question: did you guys catch where Kylie decided almost to kill me?
Oh no! Oh, that sounds good. Where was that?
It was me trying to overtake Russell right before Russell crashed.
When he at Sterling's, where he speared it off into the wall.
Is it Sterling like turn 9 or something?
Yeah,
I guess. So, yeah. And right in the middle bit, Kylie was trying to be nice, and no offense to him, but he was trying to be nice to let people by. And then I was right side by side with Russell. I almost crashed into him. I had to back off.
Hey dear, that would have been funny to watch, but never mind. Anybody you'd like to have a shout out to? Obviously me, and definitely to Alan. Before we let you go and celebrate your 2 second places tonight.
Definitely to Alan, yes. To the to the other drivers, bro. I mean, I had fun tonight. It was a good race, and I think we had a good battle up front. Spencer came through pretty quick. Sam was a bit unfortunate. I didn't see the incident yet, but yeah, I saw it because he got speared off by Mark. I mean, Gabby for being not good enough to keep me behind him. No, well, shits and giggles. I mean, it's a fun league. It's great to race against everyone, and for me, I'm at the front, but I mean, the guys in the middle had a great fight as well, apparently. So I'm gonna try to rewatch the broadcast tomorrow.
Awesome stuff. In that case, we will see you at Mid Ohio next week. Hopefully, I can do the official like I did this week.
Yeah, cool.
And end up in a split that wasn't so ridiculously out of my league.
Well, wait. I want to give one more shout out for JB for having an issue, and I know it's unfortunate.
Yeah.
I have Fanatec gear. He has Fanatec gear, but I never have issues. And I mean, the guy's a blast, and it's good to see him
I
just
did
come
yesterday.
back in a second.
I did yesterday, if you remember. I couldn't downshift.
Yeah,
What the hell?
I don't know. You guys are doing weird stuff. Just download
I
the new
think
drivers.
it's you doing weird stuff and making it work. So
Just
anyway.
download the new drivers.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. We will see you next time out. Wobbly.
Just download the new drivers.
I've just got to boot him out. Unfortunately, he's got access to join back in whenever he wants to, but I'll sort that out eventually. Right. So, no Sam Blees to speak to. But
He was there, but he's probably gone home.
was he there? Have I just missed him? I don't think so. But we do have scoring more points than in the sprint race, in the feature race. Probably the same points, to be fair. Gary Craig, good evening.
Yay.
Very professional and calm, calculated driving tonight. You were
and slow.
I would say not. Third place can never be described as slow pace.
Okay, not in this lot, in this
No
field.
way.
I don't think that's
Your best
Gary.
lap in the last race was a 1:32.21.
Yes, 0.6 off the actual fast times. I had no pace this week. How the hell I got a third and a fourth, I do not know. I'll take it though.
I think it's called consistency and professionalism, because lots of other people ended up in an unprofessional situation where they were uncompetitive. If you look at Mark Draper and Sam Blees, for instance, where are they?
They are equally to blame and in the wall.
Yes, they are. That's right. I'm nodding profusely right now, because that's exactly where they ended up.
We've just been looking at some of the funny incidents throughout the race.
Yeah, have you really?
And Spencer shared his screen, and yeah, it's there was some big ones in there by the looks of it.
Oh yeah, proper tasty ones. Most of them are on the broadcast, if not all of them. Although I have to admit, I do miss some of them. We caught the Mark Draper one with Sam absolutely live. You couldn't get more live than what we got. And yeah, it's not pretty.
No, well, I mean, Mark had his racing driver excuses all throughout the race.
Yeah.
He had brick dust in both eyes. He had one toenail longer than the other. It was all coming out.
He is a class act. He is a brilliant guy, and it's so good to have him in our league because he's hilarious.
Yeah, well, we had a big group in BSTV chat tonight. So we had our usual group of BSTV and the geodesic boys, but we've also got David and Mark in there now as well. So it's quite fun.
Yeah, for anybody watching and you want a decent league to come and join as a community, then this is it. So you were fifth in the league. You performed better than Jamie Wilson, who was fourth. Obviously, with drop weeks, which we've not yet started to include, you would be above him anyway.
Yeah,
Stephen didn't turn up. Spencer didn't present well in the second race because he got drapered, for want of a better term. And I think you may end up maybe third.
I am.
Oh, you are? Have
indeed.
you done the points?
I have done a version
Oh my
of the
god!
points.
Well, it's the same as the version of the points. Let's face it, if not better. So yeah, Right, so you are third. So you moved up 2 positions in one race. You've got to be happy with that, right?
Oh, definitely. I mean, Wook not turning up, obviously. I know he doesn't like Brands Hatch at all. I don't know if that's his reason. But,
I think
you know,
he did say that there was a couple of races he couldn't do, and
Yeah.
this being one of them,
Yeah,
likely.
but I mean, if those are his drop rounds, those are his drop rounds. You know, Sam didn't have a particularly good race tonight. It happens. We're all going to have them. I didn't have a good race at VIR at the start of the season, so you know we're all going to have them. It'll surely even out to the point where Sam Spencer and Wook are at the front, and then I'll still be fighting for that best of the rest, which is again the goal, just to try and get a little bit closer to the fast guys.
I don't know. You're steadily making your way forward this season in terms of the league, and next time out is as we discussed a little bit earlier between me and Alan, Mid-Ohio, a nice technical track, might lend itself to the Veloster.
I enjoy Mid-Ohio, but then again, I enjoy Brands Hatch and I enjoy Sebring, but I've not been on the pace there, and I really didn't like VIR going into that, and I was well on the pace, so let's see.
It's similar to VIR, isn't it? It's not like Sebring at all. Sebring is a power track. It's a high speed, top end, absolutely grunt your way past everybody else. Whereas Mid-Ohio is very technical. It's very twisty. You can bin it on every turn, really.
Bit more finesse. You need a bit more finesse.
Finesse.
Yeah,
Good call. Good word.
We did have a good close race there last time. I remember me and Spencer had a bit of a bump together in the roller coaster bit. But we had a good close race, so fingers crossed that there's a good group up there fighting for it, because it is a really fun track. It's tricky to overtake there, but it's a good fun track.
I love it. I think it's brilliant.
It is.
It's got a real flow to it to me.
I'm looking forward. I'm looking forward to this season because there's a few tracks on there that don't normally get used. We've had VIR already. We've got obviously next week Mid-Ohio. Then we've got Zolder coming up as well.
Zolder, what a great track.
Some great tracks that don't get used so often. So I am looking forward to this season.
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah. The ones that pop up on my MX5 league regularly. So I'm kind of used to driving them on a really regular basis. But you're right. They're underused tracks in general because they are excellent, I think.
Definitely, especially Zolder. I think Zolder's one of the most fun.
Brilliant.
It's one of the most fun to drive, and it just doesn't turn up anywhere very often at all.
It's not that silly version of it, is it? Is it the proper track?
There is no silly version of it.
No,
There is.
There's only 2 versions, and they're just different chicanes.
Yeah. Anyway. Right, so
chicanes, goodness, fantastic.
Yeah, so more to celebrate tonight than finishing on the bottom step of the podium in the fact that you've moved forward 2 places in the championship. So great result. Anybody you want to shout out to before we let you go and practice from Mid-Ohio?
Yeah, I mean all the guys who make the league happen. It's great fun to race as ever. Yeah, looking forward to the rest of the season. You guys obviously for doing the broadcast. Everyone who jumps in and chats and has a laugh, and does a race, it's just great, good fun racing. So yeah, well done everyone.
Yeah, well done you tonight, actually, Kay. I thought you've done a really cracking job, matey.
It would have been better.
So well.
It would have been better if I could hold Wobbly off in the second race. I just understeered that one understeer.
You did so well, man. You did a great job for a long time. You know, under a lot of pressure. You know.
And don't forget, there's still 10 quid on wiping him out on purpose.
Oh, awesome! Well, I guess I'm going to make a lot of money for the rest of the season. is that redeemable on multiple occasions?
Yeah.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
Yeah,
absolutely. In that case, we will see you at Mid-Ohio. Gary Craig.
Great. Thanks, guys.
Good night, lad.
Cool. Right. Next into the booth is.
Where do you go?
Well, no. I'm gonna go Jamie Wilson. He led the race for such a long time in the second one. Because everybody else was tripping over their own shoelaces.
Well, no, but he had a good start, and
he did. You cheated, right? No Chimera driver has ever launched. In fact, Simon was in. What did Simon
was he
say?
Giving abuse in the chat?
Maybe, right?
I had a really bad V8 start, and I'm just still getting the proverbial for it.
Right. So, well, it wasn't. Hang on. Right. It wasn't just the V8 start, was it? But anyway, I remember some F4 starts, which were somewhat questionable.
No, my F4 one's pretty good.
Well, you
No,
sure?
it's all V8. I did an astonishingly crap one at Mid Ohio. So.
You did, yeah. And guess where we're going next with the TCR?
Hooray.
Yeah. So Simon says that's just Jamie now. I've sorted my starts. He says.
Right. Well, I have, as evident. Well, mind you, in this and that second race, everything's relative. Russ,
Yes.
they were just saying in the other chat, that, asking him whether his car was beeping in reverse.
He reversed it into the wall twice. You know that?
Oh, did it beep then?
I think it must have beeped at least once.
Beep, beep, reversing. Beep.
We're reversing. Oh, that's class. That's going to go down in Legend. So tell us about your 2 races. The first race you finished in, is it 6th? Oh, I'm trying to guess where you finished now.
7th. Got
7th.
second.
7th. Yeah. And off the front row, you got the launch of the century. You were already a second ahead, by the time you got to Druids.
Was I? I couldn't
Yeah,
tell. I was
it was
just expecting
bonkers. I was like, what's going on
I left a bit of space, if I remember rightly, because I was looking in my mirror, and objects in the mirror may appear larger than they are, or whatever, which way around it is. So
Right.
I thought, don't know.
No,
see
you
how
got a
that
great
goes.
cracking start.
Yeah, it's a bit easier. In the Honda's probably the easiest car to get a reliable start in. Maybe not the best start. The Audi's probably still got that, but well, unless Russ is driving it. But the yeah, the Honda's pretty easy mode for starts, unlike the V8. So yeah, no, it was just sort of got on with it and hunkered down as long as I could.
Yeah, I thought when I saw that you were at the front of the grid, I thought, Jamie's going to be hard to dislodge from this because he's been driving so well recently, and he's really found that bit of pace and a bit of confidence in the car, and and right enough, you did make it hard.
Yeah, I mean, I knew I didn't have the pace to maintain it the whole way, but I thought I'm going to give it a damn good go, trying to last as long as I can. And eventually, I think what caught me out when Spencer passed me was I just ended up at that point in the event, with the rubbering in and everything, round 30s. If you don't get on the normal line, if you're just slightly off of it, then you get into what they call like the grey at Indianapolis, for example, where it's just really slippy. And at that point,
Yeah.
I just lost the ability to turn into the corner properly, and I just had to just kind of settle for it. And I had Gary, I think it was, chomping at it as well. All good fun.
Well, it's been there's some tremendous racing tonight. It's been really enjoyable. It has been cracking because it's so hard to get by. A good defender can defend really well and make it hard for the fast guy, and and of course such skillful driver, and where everybody's so close, but just on the verge of disaster, but nearly always avoiding it.
Yeah, nearly always reference Carl in the first race.
Yeah.
That was just one of those things, but I've apologised to him, but there wasn't really much either of us could do there. It was just a bit unfortunate, just overlap that happened to sort of manifest in that way. But and of course he then reset, so I couldn't redress because it obviously already reset. So, which was that was a bit of a kind of dampener on the first race. But we all trust each other enough to be racing like that. So I did an official yesterday around here. I don't normally do officials, but you have to give that extra little sort of margin for the unknown in those a little bit. Whereas the likes of Wobbly and Gary and that get nothing. I expect nothing in return.
But it makes a great spectacle for us, Jamie.
That's the plan.
Yeah, it has to be the plan.
Wonderful, enjoyable racing we get week after week.
And the lovely technical Mid-Ohio to follow. I suspect that's a track that you enjoy racing around, to be honest, because it's not an easy track to master, is it? But I feel it lends into your wheelhouse because you approach races in a very particular way, and it's a very calculated way. And I think you're going to race well there.
Yeah, it's not a track that Simon absolutely can't stand it, but
Really?
Yeah, he hates it with a passion.
Oh God, right, okay.
I'm neutral on it, to be honest, but I've always gone fairly well there. I mean, if you remember the V8 race, I was apart from the start, just erase that from your memory, thanks.
Yeah.
Other than that, you know, I was, you know, I had a good one around there in the V8s recently, so hopefully that translates into this. It lends itself well. I mean, it's one of these tracks. A lot of people say, oh, it's really hard to pass a Brands Hatch or Meadow High or whatever. And yes, it is, but it makes it that much more rewarding if you do.
Oh,
So,
yeah, totally.
and also forcing someone into a mistake or having to shadow someone for a very long time is in itself quite exciting, and it may not necessarily translate into the, you know, there are certain times when that happens where you have, you know, a pack of 4 cars and they end up at the end of the race in the same order, and as well as that, you know, nothing happened, but it was exciting to find out that nothing happened. You know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah.
those are just as enjoyable, even if it's not, you know, side by side people passing, whatever. You know, we're all at the edge. We're all absolutely maxing these cars out, driving the absolute wheels off them. So, just doing that anyway is good fun with in proximity.
Yes, you know, it's something about the drivers when you get to this high level. There's an intensity to the driving that they can sustain that wears me out just watching.
I'm knackered if it helps.
Yeah, no, I'm sure. No, but I see it in the MX-5 racing as well. You know, there's a lot of intensity. You know, a lot of passion and intensity. And it does wear you out, but it's the way people can sustain that concentration, that level of pitch of racing for lap after lap. Whereas after 2, I'm worn out. You know.
Yeah, it is. I can attest. It is quite stressful having Spencer like sort of Jaws in the mirror, sort of playing with his food until he makes his move. You know.
Yeah, it does feel like that sometimes with him, doesn't it? We'll have to get Alan with one of his many musical instrument talents to be able to emulate the Jaws music, you know, at key points in the race. That'd be class.
Better than Wobbly singing, I'm sure.
Oh God, really?
I should bear that in mind.
Yeah, claws down the blackboard comes to mind, but never mind. And when Kenzie starts in V8 races, it's just unbearable. So yeah, we will see you next time out at Mid-Ohio. I don't know what that does to your championship. Let me try and find that. There it is. So you were 4th. I think Gary will overtake you. I think you'll overtake Stephen Walker. I think you'll end up 4th tonight in the championship. I don't think Wobbly's got enough in it to leapfrog 2 positions at the same time. Can you see the points in Discord at all?
Not at hand.
No, Gary usually chucks them in somewhere, but I can't see them at the minute.
Slacking.
Yeah, 2. It's just not good enough. Well, I mean, this isn't the service we pay for, is it? Not that we pay for pay any money at all. But yeah, really entertaining tonight. You know, you had such good duels with so many people. We're seeing one of them on the screen at the minute in lovely replay graphics. Any shout outs you want to make before we let you go?
Yep, to you guys as always for putting it on, to everyone that shows up and as I say can facilitate this sort of racing, because it is a good use of everyone's time to be doing it, evidently, because we keep turning up. And Simon for taking the piss in general.
Yeah, and giving you the opportunity to score some more points, because he is rapid in these cars. So, yeah, it'd be good to see him back, hopefully next season, but we're not sure yet. But yeah, fantastic racing tonight, Jamie Wilson.
Cheers, guys.
Yeah, well done.
Right, we're going to drag in one more for an interview before we start talking about racer of the evening. That person. I was gonna try and speak to Carl Hardy. He was up 11 spaces tonight, 11 places. David Johansson was up 12 in race 2. Those are 2 standout opportunities to have an interview. JB was up 10. That's significant. Obviously, there's a few people got put by the wayside. And then we got Russell. Evening, Russell Cowell.
Evening.
Evening.
I was trying to escape.
Yeah. How do I get out of the interview room? How do I get out?
So I do a Jamie and just press the Discord, disconnect. See ya.
Too right. So first race, nice and competitive.
Ish,
yeah. Honda not as sharp around Brands Hatch?
What, the Audi?
Sorry, Audi.
Yeah,
Sorry.
the Audi sucked around there, but I did eventually get a tune that stopped me from feeling like I was on a trampoline.
Right. Yeah. Somebody else in the official I was in yesterday was saying he kept bouncing up and down.
Yeah. So through all of the corners, like they had it from the Veloster as well in the back section.
All right.
But literally in every single corner, the car didn't drive around the corners; it bounced.
All right.
I can't remember if you saw what happened to me at the first week at VIR when I bounced around the corner near where the tree is. I bounced all around the corner there.
Yes, I remember. Yeah,
the car reacted very similar to that around the whole track.
Oh, God,
So
I've slept since then. And I can't remember that.
Yeah.
It still looks a bit bouncy now. Actually, I'm looking at it now. We're looking at this.
Yeah.
It's still a bit bouncy.
Luckily, someone came and saved the day. Wobbly saved the day with a variant of tune that I could actually get along with more so than the previous one, but it still felt quite. But I think that's just track and all the cars.
Right.
What Clyde used to do with that is there was a setting called spring rebound, and he used to give it some weird setting for me, and I can't remember which car it was now, but it used to dampen down all the bouncing over the curbs particularly, and on corners at Sebring, like the Sunset and turns like that. So have a look at that next time. Not that I know anything about racing and or setups. But yeah, we saw you in some heated battles. And then you finished. Yeah, you finished. Was it 9th in the first race? 8th. And good points. And then race 2 happened, and we saw you bounce around Stirling's and into the wall. And then you reversed into the wall, and then we saw you reverse into the wall for a second time, which Alan was like, "Why would you do that?" What happened exactly?
So I had the worst start again ever. 2 weeks in a trot, mate. I've just not managed to start the easiest starting car in the game. So I was already on the back foot, saw everyone coming through, and then me and Wobbly, I'd already predicted what I want to happen in the corner because Wobbly was coming through at the speed of light. So in my head, I was going, right, let Wobbly by into the corner, try and let him go, and then follow him through the corner as fast as you can.
Right.
So Wobbly was getting to the point where he was beside me, and there was a Kylie Haddington that was like, hi! So Wobbly broke his heart. Well, he tapped his brakes, went behind me. But in my head, I already played that I wanted to let Wobbly through. And because I'd already gone through that sequence in my head, I couldn't get it out of my head. And I was like, it's not gone to plan. What do I do now?
Yeah.
And then, obviously, I went wide into the corner, and the car just went 90 degrees to the left. And then the whole about reversing into the wall is I was going to go, and then I saw people coming around the corner, and then, obviously, I'm going to go again. And then Carly comes straight around the corner to the left-hand side of the track, and I was like, I don't want to kill him, so I'll just stay here. And then I reversed again to get the car around, so I could just go drive in the pits because it's quicker than taking the tow.
Fair enough.
Oh, very exciting. What an exciting
honestly,
ride.
I love Alan. I love listening to the guys when they're talking in the interviews because you can hear the enthusiasm in it, even if they've not had a great race. They're still loving it, aren't they?
Yeah. No, yeah, it was good. It was just frustrating, especially when I had to pit twice. I don't know if you know.
Well, we did see that, yeah, and I assumed it was either through not having enough fuel, which I learnt through the chat that it was because you hadn't fueled enough, or that you got sufficient penalty points that you had to.
Yeah, but, you know me, I don't do penalty points.
No, true.
Not to that degree, but yeah, I didn't. I had one lap less of fuel. So when I pitted, but it decided to put like half a lap's worth of fuel in the car. So then, because I'd been fuel saving.
Oh, so it calculated less than you actually filled.
Less than I needed. Yeah. So then I came around the last corner, and the car went but. I was like, oh, Sam's coming. I'm like keeping my foot all the way down to the floor, going, I don't care if you just run out of fuel, but just beat Sam, please.
Oh, and you did. So that was.
And I pitted just at the end.
Yeah. No, that was worthwhile.
But he had the same issue. He'd ran out of fuel as well, but he managed to save a little bit of fuel.
How do you think the Audi's going to go at Mid-Ohio?
I've got a feeling it'll be all right around there, except for when it comes to the corners when I'm bouncing around the corners.
Well,
'Cause
that's
there's
what
a
I'm
lot of,
thinking.
like,
Yeah.
There's a lot of sharp corners on it.
There are.
However, on them sharp corners, I should make the speed back on them very, very long straights. Hoping.
Yes. Yeah.
Or you're gonna get a message from me next week saying I'm taking the 200-point drop.
Yeah. I mean, out a keyhole, that is a very long straight, but everything else is.
Tight and twisty.
Oh yeah.
Tight and twisty, yeah.
Yeah.
I think a lot of it is managing the braking into the corner, not carrying as much speed in the Audi. But I'm still foot to the floor. I think I'm in the P217. Unfortunately,
Some awkward camber there as well, isn't there? Some awkward camber. If
really.
you've got suspension issues, that might be a bit of a problem.
Proper evil camber.
There has been word on some of the forums that people have put a complaint in that they're going to look into it, but it's the Audi's a weird one. They've kind of matched its pace this season with all the other cars and made everything quite even across the board. But it shouldn't feel like a trampoline.
No, definitely not.
So they're now trying to fix that, but I've got a feeling they'll either fix it in a bad way, and we'll find out that the car is no longer usable again, or they'll fix it and the car will be the OP car, as it so seems to be that I pick. And then everyone will be like, "Oh, look at Russ picking the OP car again."
Well,
it might be that they cure its suspension. I think that would be the easiest thing for them to do. So maybe they'll do that.
I just think they need to bring the new car in. They need to bring the newest version of that car, and it'll be.
Oh right, that's a good idea. Yeah,
because there is a new model of the car, but it's are they going to spend the money and the resources building that?
Right,
probably not.
There's technically one already in the game. It's just not up to scratch.
Well, with the V8s, they replace like for like, so.
Yeah, so we'll see. I mean, I'm sure have you all seen what they tweeted out today?
No.
The LMP3.
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 Eh?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
The LMP3.
I don't know what that is. I don't watch Le Mans.
It's an LMP2, but slower.
Why would you do that?
What was the point of that?
That's like
the same.
That's like creating an IRO1, isn't it, or whatever
Does
the
an
hell?
LMP2 look like an LMP1?
They all look the same.
Oh, good.
I think the one thing that's going to create though is imagine the endurances then when you've got an even slower car on the field that's similar pace to a GT.
Yeah. Oh, look at the screen. Oh, it's a thing of beauty. Oh, it's like I've timed it. Honest folks, I didn't.
That did make a mess, didn't it?
It did, yeah. I mean, there's litter, isn't there? I mean, carbon footprint that Russ has created there is quite significant.
I'm glad you didn't see the bit where I actually threw my.
No, but keep watching.
Whoa.
Keep watching. Here we go. So
you don't need
here
to
is
keep
reverse number 1. Oosh.
Yeah, that's me getting out the way.
No, yeah, I get that. And then there's reverse number 2. Wait. This is a bit forward. Hang on. And then we select reverse gear again. Here.
Yeah, it's just
give
going
it a
forward.
minute. Give it a minute.
See, this is where I'm on about. So Jamie's on the inside. I was like, why is he on the inside when he should be on the outside?
And
so then
we do a bit of this. Yeah, we don't like that rear spoiler. We don't want it. So we're going to do this.
No. I want to fire it off.
And then we kind of get going again. Anyway, right. I just thought
you have timed that perfectly. But,
honestly, it's like I planned it.
I'm just going to remember this next time we're doing the endurance together.
Okay.
Yeah. Just remember that, Pete. Like, remember what we did this weekend.
Yeah. No worries.
Yeah.
Did you see that in the foreground? That's your front bumper, that.
Anyway, yeah, just like that bumper that you ripped off when we did Daytona.
That didn't happen on my screen, so it didn't happen at all. Let me just point out.
Can we point out to the viewers that you actually did quite well this weekend?
I did.
I'm actually going to give you a bit of praise. You actually did all right this weekend.
All right. Yeah.
I'll give you that one.
Wow.
Yeah.
He's not as bad as we think he is.
Well,
he's worse when Wobbly winds him up.
Oh yeah. I mean, how is any normal human going to cope with that? But anyway, brilliant racing tonight. We saw you in some really close battles, and we look forward to watching you at Mid Ohio. We think we're going to move up the standings a little bit. And your car looks absolutely mullered on that picture, doesn't it? Anyway,
Looks brilliant, doesn't it?
We'll skip over that. Great racing tonight, Russell Cowell.
Thank you. See you later.
Nice one, Russ.
Right, so we've got the hardest decision of all tonight. Of course,
it's a really tough one.
always brutal,
I do
isn't
think
it?
it's. I think it's especially hard tonight.
Yeah,
I've got 3 that I'd like to give it to.
Oh, go on then. I usually do a little intro for this, but who's your 3?
So with 3, I would like to. Well, okay, so I'd like to give it to Wobbly.
But nobody in their right mind's going to do that, though, are they?
Well, that's possible. I'd like to give it to Gary. Thought he was superb tonight as well.
Yeah.
Drove the wheels off his car and got absolutely the best out of it that he could. And and I'd like to give it to Spencer because he had 2 victories and just drove superbly. So it's quite tricky, to be honest. I think they've all got merit, and that makes it hard.
Okay, well, I'll let you
I
think
could
for a
talk
bit.
about it for a bit longer. I'll keep
Yeah,
going.
you think...
You know what I mean? You can keep going.
You think about it for a little bit longer. I was thinking about David Johansson because he...
I had David last week.
Yeah.
I did, yes.
Yeah.
And it was very, it was very worthy. And
it
yeah.
was. I did watch the
two
broadcast.
running. Yeah.
And he finished... All right, he had a bad race 1, right? Because he finished like 17th or something. But he was up 12 positions in the second race. He's made his way through in brilliant fashion there. And I think that's worthy of a call out. I do get what you're saying about Spencer and Wobbly, but Spencer has all the rewards of winning the race anyway.
Yes, but that kind of tends to exclude him from ever getting this driver
not
award
ever.
of the night.
He's had some in the past, but I might do actually. Ooh, it's tempting.
Well, it's a double victory. That's the thing.
It is, isn't
I
it?
just
Not many get that. Not many get that.
No.
Wobbly, I'd rather, as I said before, I'd rather defecate in my hands and clap enthusiastically than give him a Driver of the Meeting award. And actually, if you look at the website, it's really weird. He's already on -1. I don't know how that's managed to happen, but he's on -1 points in the Driver of the Meeting award. It's almost like, I don't know, somebody's already given him a negative, but I don't know where that came from. But anyway, and then Carl Hardy in the second race.
Exactly.
A rubbish first race, 11 places up in his second race.
Well, his first race wasn't his fault either, was it?
No.
It was very frenetic, wasn't it? All that lot of bodgy going on.
Absolutely. And JB, did you up 10 places in his second race? A lot of people had a really bad race 1 and have shown very well in race 2, and they've made my decision absolutely difficult.
It's tough. I really think it's tough this week. I do.
Yeah.
Normally I have a fairly clear idea, but this week I think it's been really hard.
Yeah, and I think the driver I'm going to go for, and this is wildly out of the park, is it's Tony Yates. So he was in the thick of lots.
He only got one last week.
Did he?
He did.
Oh, right. I'm going to vote for Tony because
Yeah.
he finished top 10 in both races. It's really his first full season with us because last season he joined partway through. He's finished 10th in the first race, I think. Did he? Maybe. Yeah, I think he did.
Yeah, he did well because we mentioned it, didn't we?
He was
doing well. He was well up.
And then 8th in the second race. He's very consistent. I could have voted for a whole bunch of other people, but I think Tony Yates has done a brilliant race tonight. Done himself no disservice whatsoever. He's done a fantastic series of results for Sim Racing Honda, Sim Racing Grid Honda, I should say. So I'm going to vote for Tony Yates. Where's your vote going to land?
Yes. Well, out of the 6 potential ones that are on my mind, they're going round in the thing. I should just toss the coin. I'm going to give it to Spencer because he won both races and he did a fantastic overtake from the gods. But, and he drove superbly. It wasn't error free, but it was damn nearly error free. And that was under really quite a lot of pressure from Wobbly, who will certainly be getting a vote from me at some time in the season because the way he's performing.
Don't do it to yourself. It's not worth it. But yeah, I mean, Spencer's performance tonight was exemplary. It's difficult for me to vote for the winners each time because they've already been rewarded by the points that they've achieved.
Yes.
But I utterly appreciate why your vote went in Spencer's direction. It's utterly justified, and it's a good call, to be fair. So, the Driver of the Meeting award is currently led by Tony Yates, Jamie Jeffrey, Jamie Wilson, David Johansson, Sam Blees, and Spencer McCarthy all share 1 point in a joint second place, which is a bit like an orgy, but I didn't say that because this is a family channel. And then, of course, everybody else is on 0, apart from Wobbly, who's on -1.
It's very early though, isn't it? And all those
It
guys
is.
who've got one, that's actually got a foot on the ladder because they're the people who stand the chance of getting another one any time in any race. You know, they stand the chance of actually picking up another award, don't they? They're the kind of people who are in the hat every week for a shout at that. So
yeah, Driver of the Meeting doesn't mean that they're the one that wins it necessarily.
Absolutely not. No, absolutely not.
It's people who've like excelled at what compared to their standard best, as it were. The people that have done brilliant overtakes, the people that have given fantastic sportsmanship and redressed places when it needed to be done, and they've done it in brilliant fashion. Things like that. That's what makes a driver of the evening.
Yes, but Spencer wouldn't have got it if he'd have only won one race.
Exactly. Spencer's done a brilliant job tonight. He's stuck his head out, head and shoulders tonight at Brands Hatch. Yes, it's his local track, but besides that point, this is a challenging track to drive, and he's done a fantastic job with it. Let's see who shows their face at Mid-Ohio next week on April 5th. Don't forget, folks, we are in V8 ESC action this week as well. That happens on Saturday. We have Simon Trendle leading that championship. Adam Wright, believe it or not, is in second place with Tony Klusterman in third and Woodward in fourth, who races in this league and finished in... Where did he finish tonight? 14th in both races.
He was unlucky tonight, was Andy.
He was.
Yeah,
he got turned by JB, or rather the netcode from JB's car in race 1.
I'm sure I hopefully be watching, but I've got guests on Saturday, so I might be pissed.
Good effort, but still be watching. We'll look forward to your comments in the chat. And then Bob Woodhouse in 5th place in the V8 ESC standings at the moment. It's going to be a brilliant race. We are at Phillip Island, which is one of my favourite tracks. Obviously, V8's Phillip Island. It's a marriage made in heaven.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah. I'll say goodnight now. I will let Sir Alan of Toon say goodnight independently. Thanks to everybody who raced, whoever watched, whoever contributed on the chat, and whoever has anything to do with this series. We salute you. And well done to Spencer for a double victory tonight. It's not often you get someone who can claim that, other than if your name is Sam Bleed. So good evening, everybody, and I'll hand you over to Alan.
Oh, isn't that nice? I've got a big chunk of time all to myself, so thanks, chaps. It's been absolutely delightful, and you provided us with great entertainment tonight, and I look forward to seeing us next week, because I love Mid-Ohio, and it's not easy for you, but it makes for great watching for us. So good night, everybody.
Bye.